Well, we know who wrote it.
Yep. We want to make sure the author is given proper credit. Thalen Polk. But the young man who did this, it was perfect. He went into a studio. Gentleman helped him to engineer the thing. He read it out, and years ago, back in 1993, it was sent at quick mail to us while we had the office in Pontiac at the time, as a matter of fact. And we had a lot of different friends who helped us. And when this was sent, we sat down. Everybody, we plugged the cassette in. That's right. It was on cassette. And when we listened to it, it was like, we got to use it. That's it. We have to use that. And that became the benchmark for the intelligence report years and years and years ago, and has been part of our mechanism ever since. And it says it all. It goes right through it, because the challenge is, first of all, it demonstrates what are the problems, what is it that's been happening. But it also puts out a challenge. What are you going to do? Will you shirk your responsibility? Will you let the scales lay back over your eyes? Will you lay back? Will you simply forget about your responsibilities? See, Osama Bama Ding Dong isn't going to pass any executive order this afternoon banning the Strawman, because his first mission is to protect all of the racket. And I don't mean as president. I'm talking about as an alien esquire through the Bar Association.
Yep.
Enemies of the American people. That's why the bar members who claim that they're for the rule of law, there's nobody stepping forward and pegging this traitor. Though actually, if he's not an American, he's technically not a traitor. He's just a foreign invader. Right now, what we have is a foreign invader being brought into a public office. And every one of these lying sacks of you-know-what that will always tell you that, they're this higher order for the rule of law, they are not following the laws of this land by allowing this alien to take the highest office of this nation, which still is regulated by many checks and balances. But since he's a foreign potentate, and since he is an alien, the first agenda that this alien has, being given this office because the other butt-buddy ring-knockers are not stepping forward and arresting him because, they'll give lip service, but in reality they too are lying, that they stand for the rule of law. No, they don't.
That's right.
They have gone so far around the corner, they can't see the corner anymore. And this alien invader, this foreign character who is now going to be waging war against the American people through the corporation office and through the office of the president, will be allowed to take office illegitimately. Which means that all of these characters, all these FBI agents who will tell you they're for the rule of law and they're standing on some high... No, they're not. They're showing their colors now.
Well, here's another thing that kind of I don't exactly agree with, Mark. And even if you look at even if he was an American citizen born out of the country, there are a lot of people, black folks in particular, that say, "Well, we've finally taken a step up." You know what I mean? He's not the descendant of a slave. He does not represent the history of America in that respect. If they were true to this vision, so to speak, they other people. They couldn't have looked at Colin Powell because he's not a descendant of an American slave. They could have looked at Jesse Jackson, a descendant of an American slave, and brought history into the nation. But that isn't what happened, is it? That is not what happened. So when a number of black folks say, "Well, he represents us," they have been deceived, haven't they?
The most important aspect of what's happening today is the fact that they are violating the body of the law of the United States by bringing an alien individual who does not deserve the office into place. In other words, this individual will not and does not, and he can try to lie till he's blue in the face, or whatever color. And bottom line is, they have intentionally deceived the people to violate and to crack the Constitution, which, by the way, Mr. Wills said on Sunday. What did they say, Don?
Oh, I've got that right here in my notes. George Wills on, I believe it was This Week in Washington or Farston, one of the propaganda gin mills there. He said the Constitution is blocking things, slowing things down, and, you know, went on and on about how useless the Constitution is, according to the pundits. But again, isn't that what it was meant to do? To put chains on government instead of chains on us? That's the bottom line of the Constitution, to keep Americans free instead of having Americans say, well, it slows things down and blocks things. Another traitor in a high place. Setting the foundation for the con coming. And how many times have we put off the Constitutional Conventions, Mark, over the years?
Well, again, one of the things to keep in mind and think about is what is the purpose behind it. If all these characters all know what's going on, who has stepped forward and arrested this individual for proceeding? Who has also charged all of the individuals who assisted and perpetrated this lie? Because, there's a lot of people that are perfectly knowledgeable, but if the system has become rotten to the core, and of course is now an occupying agent through a foreign power, has become an alien structure in general, then this is very symbolic in that they are breaking or destroying the American system.
Yes.
That's what this is all about. I know we have a telephone caller. Tell you what, we got who do we have calling in?
Am I on?
Yeah, we got you. Go right ahead, sir.
This is Jim from Caldwell County, Texas.
Hey, Jim, go right ahead.
Obama's going to lay conscription on the whole public, like we're all going to be forced to do service for the United States, the corporation. I'm not going to do that, and I've taken an oath in the service to protect the Constitution, and where do we draw the line? Are they going to, when they say everyone has to go meet down at the police station or the fire department and get their number and then get assigned a job, and if you don't, you're going to get arrested. I'm not going to do that.
Well, that's why, what did they say about this whole thing with the weapons? This was on an article that was on CNN about 3 in the morning, about, now 3 going on 3.5 weeks ago, where the feds said that, well, with Osama Bama Ding Dong winning, this is going to make it harder for them to do what they had planned for the spring in America, with a K.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that reference to the spring. Remember the senator? I could go back in my notes. And I don't remember the senator's name without looking into my notes, but he talked about, we need to bring the troops home because we're going to need them here in the springtime.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well, the bottom line is this, is the communists that we're dealing with here, because everybody goes, no, they're fed. No, these are Soviet socialists. They believe that the people are the property of the state. What they've done is they're going to use them. This is why, again, like I was doing this facetiously this morning, talking about the Strawman. The Strawman is worth tens of millions of dollars. In fact, in some cases, depending upon the structure, we don't know all of the information on the structure that determines the value of the bonds they've laid against you. You can be worth up to $114, $115 million in fictional paper bonds that are floating all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where do these numbers collide? Look at what they've done with this ludicrous national debt.
We're all going to be responsible for it, as he says, but I'm not.
Oh, no, we're not. But that's the whole point. First of all, this is a fraud. But the whole gist of the devil dealing the way that they are here, guys, the devil's dealings are always frauds. Yep.
What I'm saying is, if I don't register for this and they pull up in my driveway out here in the country, I'm not going to let them get out of the car tomorrow.
There you go. And that's where we get into this whole issue of, stay right where you are. I'll tell you what, because we're going to continue. You're asking the right questions right now. This is the Intel Report. We're at the bottom of the hour break. We will be back in about 3 minutes here on the Micro Effect in the Morning with Don and Mark, the Intel Report.
All right, you guys, we're back. The Intelligence Report, Mark and myself, and
hello?
Rush right into it. There we go.
There we go. We got you. I'll tell you what, caller, real quick, what you're talking about. Well, let me read this off real quick. See, we recognize what these 10 points are, and it ain't the 10 Commandments. Abolition of private property. Number 2, heavy progressive income tax. Number 3, abolition of all rights of inheritance. Number 4, confiscation of property of all immigrants and rebels. 5, central bank. 6, government control of communications and transportation. 7, government ownership of factories and agriculture. 8, government control of labor. Number 9, corporate farms and regional planning. Number 10, government control of education. What is that? That's the 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto. Yep. And what you're talking about is plank 8 that this communist flat out told everybody right to everybody's face. Oh, you're all going to be indentured in servitude to the state, comrade.